back at it again, and we have a video here. Apparently, Ron DeSantis was invited onto The View. You know, the show with Sunny, Anna, Joy, and Whoopi, and I'm forgetting someone else. I've actually begun to learn their names, which is kind of crazy. You know, we've checked them out so much more recently, and I've checked out just different clips because they just always just say some of the craziest stuff. Like when Whoopi had said that Biden's wife, Jill Biden, should be, what did she say? Basically, she thought she was a doctor. She was like, yeah, she's an amazing doctor. She's phenomenal. If you haven't seen that YouTube short, definitely go and check it out. It's right here on the channel. I probably uploaded it maybe 4 days ago or so, so you might have to scroll through the channel a little bit, but it's absolutely hilarious when she finds out she's not really like a medical doctor. But anyway, yeah, we have that show being talked about today because yeah, they invited Ron DeSantis. Let's dive in.
Florida's governor is saying thanks, but no thanks to an invitation to join the host of The View.
Good.
DeSantis turned down an offer to appear on the daytime talk show with his...
Good. Because we know how that would have gone. Like I said, based on the videos that we've seen previously, that probably wasn't going to go too well. You know, I'm just saying. That's just my assumption, but y'all let me know.
Team tweeting out this scathing response that reads in part, "Thanks for the invite. I understand you are sending this request on behalf of your team, but are the hosts of The View really interested in hearing from Governor DeSantis about all of the important work he is doing on behalf of Floridians? Which of the below statements from the host of The View do you recommend our team consider when deciding if the interview will be a genuine pursuit of truth or worth the time?" DeSantis' team goes on to lay out many of the personal attacks the liberal host launched against the governor. Here are just a few.
Uh-oh.
You're just short of calling him a negligent, homicidal sociopath, because that's what he is. He's risking the lives of children, children's parents, their grandparents, anyone they may come in contact with, so that he could appeal to his white supremacist base.
DeSantis. I think he handled COVID miserably. I think he's a fascist and a bigot. It's anti-black. It's anti-gay. It's
Hold on, whoa. Before we get too deep, how could they say such a thing when, you know, you had Democrats like, for example, AOC, who we all know, took trips to Florida during that time period. I'm assuming that was during the time period where a lot of places were kind of locked down and yada yada yada. If that's what they're speaking about, didn't AOC take a trip down there? I'm just saying. I believe Newsom also took a trip to Florida, but like it's a horrible, terrible place because this fascist Ron DeSantis, and here's Joy or Sunny, excuse me, just trying to name off a bunch of crap. It sounds like. Let's check it out.
It's anti-black, it's anti-gay, it's anti-LGBTQ+,
It's anti-American.
and it started with CRT. So if you start coming after black people, what comes next, right? Of course, the LGBTQ+ community, and then women, and then other marginalized groups.
I mean,
Oh my
Harris, what an invitation. And the email said we would be...
How did that even make sense? It's anti this, it's anti that, it's anti this, it's anti that. Anytime you disagree, you're just anti everything, I guess. That's the thing that I'm learning.
honored to have him.
Yeah, I hadn't actually seen all of that. Look, as journalist Shannon, we go back and forth with people all the time, and you can have some spirited, fiery moments, whatever, always
Absolutely.
with respect, hopefully. But what
Absolutely.
that was
should.
something different. I mean, to connect someone with what they are without ever having talked with that individual just seems bizarre to me. It seems thirsty for relevance. And I don't know who they think they are sitting from that perch. Sunny Hostin, by the way, when I was on the show with a book a couple of years ago about my dad who served, there were pictures, giant pictures of my biracial children behind, and she actually looked at me and asked, who do I represent? Who do I speak to? Black people? And I mean, Whoopi looked at me and I was like, well, I speak to everybody.
Yeah.
I broadcast to everybody. And my family is ecumenical and biracial. So I get that they want that relevance, but wow, that is a far step to make.
That is shameful. That is absolutely shameful. Some of the folks who say, you know, we shouldn't be looking at people's skin color, they look at it the most. Who do you speak to? Who do you represent? You see my kids? Well, clearly I'm not just speaking to black people or just represent black people. Like, we should represent all people. We should speak to all people. I'm happy she said that because this stuff has just gotten ridiculous. Who do you represent? Do you represent black people? What does that even mean? Can somebody tell me? Because I don't even know. And I'm black. Well, at least I think I'm black. I don't know. I might not be black because I disagree with some things. So they might not accept me. I don't know. Yeah. Can somebody tell me what that means? Talk to me, please.
To try to get it. So I understand why he's not going.
I do too. And Joe, that email response from his press team was just brilliant. You know, back in my press shop, we had this theme, offense only is what I told my team. You know, if you're a straight shooter as a reporter, we are going to engage with you in that manner. Steve Holland, Reuters, great example. But if you're someone, I could have spent my whole tenure being engaged with sensational palace intrigue New York Times pieces that were already pre-written, but we didn't do that. We went on offense. Yeah. This press team of Governor DeSantis, boy, do they know how to do that. They don't take the bait.
They're excellent, and that's why in a national campaign, I think they'll do quite well. They're not going to be overwhelmed by the press. No conservative or Republican should go on this show ever again, because this is not the Barbara Walters show that was envisioned 25 years ago, right, where you could have good conversation. And I'm all for strong opinion and provocative debate. But as you said, Harris, this is a whole...
Me too. But one thing that I've noticed throughout this journey is that I feel like, just from what I've seen, and maybe I've had a biased view, you guys can let me know. I feel like the left lies a lot. And I feel like that destroys the entire point of having a debate. Like, let's just tell the truth. Like, let's just keep it real. Let's be straight shooters. We can have a fiery back and forth debate. Like, I would love to see a fiery back and forth debate. But if you're just lying and trying to pander to folks during the whole thing, like, I'm just not interested. I'm not interested. Me personally. But y'all can let me know how y'all feel. Like I said, I would love to see stuff like that. But I can't deal with the lies.
Or wrong different, right? Because it's reckless personal attacks, not based in reality whatsoever. And then it's funny because they have the conservative on the show was Meghan McCain fairly recently. Used to be on this show, actually. And Meghan offered some good counterpoints, but then finally she had to leave probably for her own sanity. And now you see Ana Navarro on there, who's the conservative, who only voted for Joe Biden, and Andrew Gillum, who ran against DeSantis. They could say all the things they want to about DeSantis being somebody who wants to murder children. He's going to win his re-election in Florida by a landslide. The people in Florida feel a lot differently than the elitists there on The View who live in their little bubble and have their seals in the audience clapping along to everything that they have.
Well said. Well said. And Emily, a lot of what they said about the governor of Florida, who's doing a great job, low unemployment, amazing economy, bothered me. But the one that bothered me most was Joy Behar. She said he has a white supremacist base. Why attack half the country in this manner? Good, hardworking people who support the governor, who happens to be very popular and is going to sail to re-election.
Well, why should we be surprised that they do? I mean, we've been seeing that for years now. Remember, at a height in the 2016 campaign, by those same media personalities that made fun of people's accents. They made fun of where people eat, right? If they eat at fast food, if they work hard, if they're blue-collar jobs, they thrive. Their currency is mocking real, ordinary Americans, real people like us here on the couch. That is their currency. That is what makes them feel better about themselves. And I think what's interesting is after those ad hominem attacks, were there comments of, we have asked Governor DeSantis' office for a comment, we haven't heard back? Did they follow up any of their really robust analysis
well, they're not
with
journalists, so
comments?
They're not going to say something.
Exactly.
I think one of them is. I don't know how old that picture is, because I know they have
and just
some
to
new
complete my
members now.
statement, yeah, exactly. I think what's interesting, too, is the response to the governor on social media, not that we care about that, but calling him a crybaby and saying, oh, you can't take a little heat from the ladies of The View. This is a governor. This is a governor.
Wow.
And as his office said, he is busy serving the people of Florida. It's not about him being unable to take a challenge. It's about him not wasting his time.
Mm-hmm. I agree 110%. 110%. I think Ron would have gone on the show if they actually told the truth.
Yes.
By the way, just to your point, are they journalists? ABC News has The View under its division. They moved The View from entertainment to the news division in 2014. Time to move it back, I think.
Remember when it started, there were journalists on there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Barbara Walters, obviously, right?
Yeah,
okay.
she was at the helm.
So I don't know what they've migrated to now, but you spoke of Meghan McCain, a friend of mine, and someone who I'm really proud to say hung in there for as long as she could.
Absolutely.
She really did, and brought class to the set. And I just, I send her all love and light, and I hope she's in a happy place, because she raised their game.
Yeah.
I don't know where their game is now, but they're punching down.
I have a feeling she's in a
And
happy place,
the
right?
governor of Florida, I mean, he took the high road, in my view. Although he did publish this email, I thought it was rather brilliant
His
play.
team did.
His team did.
Listen, you guys know when we try to book Democrats, especially high-profile Democrats on a lot of our shows, we get crickets chirping a lot of time. I can't even get a no out of some people. So credit to the team that even though it was maybe a little snarky, it was very creative, and they at least responded. So at least give them that. Also, The View knows if they book DeSantis and he comes on, that's probably going to be a very interesting, high-rated show for them, because people are going to want to see this clash, and he doesn't want to give them that. It's a show where we've all had friends who have served on the panels there, and they will tell you it is excruciating to be there as a conservative. I had one friend tell me that at one point, when they would have pre-show discussions about topics, if she was really coming with the heat and had some good stuff for her conservative, viewpoint, that they would actually kill the topic from the show.
Wow.
So that's one person's account of her time serving on the panel there. But listen, if you don't want to hear different viewpoints, maybe it's not called The View.
And I look at
Wow. Which we all assume that anyway, but it's just different when you actually hear it, I don't know, maybe it's just me. It's different when you actually hear it versus when you just assume it. I mean, but you don't really know.
what you do on Sundays and in your program at late at night. It is Fox at Night. And I look at that. We had Senator Manchin on. We've had Van Hollen on my show. I mean, you look at having those big Democrat voices, and you hope to hear at the end they say, we'll come back, because you want to treat it with respect.
Absolutely.
But that debate's got to be real.
Well played, Governor DeSantis and press team.
So, totally and 100% agree with everyone that was just speaking there. DeSantis and his team should have denied that invitation, because it just was going to be so unfair. They say Ana Navarro is a conservative, or Republican, but just from the clips that I've seen, I'm just like, there's no way. Absolutely not. That's impossible. I think that's just something that they say to make it sound good, like it's still The View. Like, hey, we still do have this Republican over here with us. But if you watched any clips, Ana Navarro's basically always agreeing with them. I feel like DeSantis truly enjoys Florida and loves the people of Florida. And his policies are policies that aren't super radical or over the top, but I feel like they're just common sense. You know what I mean? Something that I've always spoken about. It's just common sense. And a lot of you guys have said, unfortunately, common sense is no longer common. Well, it's common with Ron DeSantis, I feel, from everything that I've seen. So, but as always, y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.